Hey, welcome to our live broadcast. I'm waiting for, there we go, Facebook just kicked in. We are broadcasting live simultaneously on YouTube and Facebook. If you're catching this live, welcome. Make sure you take a second to leave me a comment in the comment section so that I know you're here and I can address you and welcome you at the end of this broadcast. If you're joining us on the rebroadcast, welcome as well. I always appreciate all my viewers who catch this on YouTube and Facebook at the end of our live broadcast. Feel free to leave me a question or comment there as well. So today we are going to be talking about, or I'm going to be sharing with you, my colonoscopy experience. I just had a colonoscopy this morning. And one of the reasons that I feel really, I don't know, motivated, I guess, to share this experience is because I went into this with not a lot of information and not a lot of stories from other people that I felt were encouraging and made me feel comfortable about the process. So I'm going to share with you what I did through the entire journey from prep all the way through what happened today, and hopefully ease your mind or maybe your nerves about a procedure like a colonoscopy. These procedures can be life-saving, and we want to make sure that we are doing them according to the schedule that's provided for us in as far as age goes, and make sure that we are not letting fear or maybe lack of good information from keeping us from scheduling these life-saving appointments. So if you're new, welcome. My name is Diane, and I have been helping women find nutrition plans and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best and live their most authentic life. For about 25 years, I've been doing it here in this community for the past couple of years via the practice of intermittent fasting and living a keto-like lifestyle. And I do teach a course to help women start incorporating intermittent fasting and a keto-like lifestyle into their everyday life to help them with their overall well-being and health as we all start going through this aging process. So my experience with my colonoscopy was amazing, despite the fact that it's a colonoscopy. And so I'm going to share with you some things that I did to really put myself in a position where I did not suffer anything that was uncomfortable or felt awkward or put me behind schedule for what it is that I'm doing in my everyday life. From like I said, from prep all the way through what I did today. So I made the personal decision to fast my way into my colonoscopy. So I took this opportunity to take advantage of what I do on a regular basis, which is intermittent fast, and I extended it out into, I didn't count the hours, but about a 3-day water fast. So my last meal was Sunday, and I broke my fast just a little bit ago when I got home from my procedure. So Sunday evening, Monday, Tuesday, and then most of the day today. So I would say from Sunday to Wednesday, water fast, with the exception of a mistake that I made. And I had some black coffee on Monday morning when I woke up. I woke up kind of in a bad mood, had nothing to do with fasting, just a bad mood kind of thing. And I decided to have a black cup of coffee to just kind of see if it got me some energy and changed my mood a little bit. And what ended up happening is that cup of black coffee in the morning, coupled with the energized sense of calm I experienced in my clean fast during the day on Monday, had me awake almost all night on Monday. So that's a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing was I was deep into the energized sense of calm. So my body felt super energized. I felt like I had more energy than I could handle, but mentally and emotionally, I was very at peace and very calm, which is what we strive for when we are practicing clean fasting. So clean fast on Monday, despite the fact that I had that little cup of coffee. And then I learned my lesson, and on Tuesday, I just water fasted for that day. So Monday, woke up, had a black cup of coffee, water fasted throughout the rest of the day, water fasted all day, on Tuesday, and then at 6 a.m. this morning, I had to cease consuming water just because of what I had to do with my procedure. But drank water this morning after I had my prep stuff. So super easy. I did the clean fast like that, an extended fast, just because of I knew what was happening with my digestive system and my gut and my colon, and the fact that my goal was with the prep kit that they give me was to cleanse out everything. And so I thought, well, gosh, if I'm going to cleanse out everything, let me get a 2-day advantage on that and practice what I already know really works. And so I just coupled in what I do, and that's fast. I just took the intermittent part out of it and made it more of an extended water fast, with the exception of the black coffee that I had. So that was a really great experience. I've never really done a fast for that amount of time. I have to say I felt absolutely fantastic. The things that I noticed about water fasting or fasting for that period of time is you have to stay busy. I didn't feel hungry at all during that time. But I felt preoccupied mentally about, wow, I should probably have a snack, or wow, I should probably have something to eat, when I really physically didn't need it. So that's one thing to keep in mind, especially if you're new to intermittent fasting, that your mind plays tricks on you and it's trying to tell you that you should probably eat because that's just what we're accustomed to doing, when really physically your body doesn't need to have any extra food in it. I don't know if I lost any weight during that time period because I don't weigh myself, specifically during, like a fasting or a cleansing period like that, because what happens psychologically and emotionally is you lose a couple pounds and then you eat and then you gain it back, and it's sort of a negative sort of setback feeling emotionally, like you just lost weight and then you gained it right back. So it's not a real weight loss in the sense that it's just that you're not eating any food that's weighing you down. So to prep for my prep of my colonoscopy, I did about a 3-day or probably 2.5-day water fast, and that worked amazing for me. What you do during a colonoscopy is they do have you start to eliminate certain types of foods about 3 days out from your actual prep start day. Wasn't a problem for me because I just eliminated all food. And then the day before, you are on a clear liquid diet. But let me share with my community here what the recommended clear liquid diet was according to the instructions that I got from my doctor's office. So clear liquids are strained fruit juices, water, Gatorade, popsicles, snow cones, carbonated soft drinks, Jello. You guys, if you are an intermittent faster or fasting in any way, or you are someone who has to fast for a medical procedure, all of those things that I just listed as approved clear liquids will send your hunger hormones in an outrage. All of those things are not really food. They're not really clear liquids. I mean, they're clear in the sense that you can see through them, but they're totally ridden of chemicals and tons of sugar and artificial things. And why would you want to put that in your gut when your gut is being completely cleansed out and it's sort of sanitized from what I experienced? Why would you want to put all those chemicals in such a raw state that your gut is in? So that again is why I chose to do water fasting during my prep or pre-prep, because I didn't want to rely on all of these things that I just don't have on my food list at all anymore. I didn't want to go backwards in what my philosophies are for good nutrition for myself and my body, when water can do the trick just as well. They also suggest that you can have clear broths and bouillon, but I just decided to go ahead and extend my fast and just drink my mineralized water as I normally do. You can also have coffee without creamer or milk, but again, I did that one day, and because I was in such a deep state of the energized sense of calm, I was like double energized and I couldn't sleep. So I decided that coffee was definitely not anything that I needed because my body was doing what I needed it to do, and that was energize itself. So let's talk about the prep, the actual prep that we do to get our colon in a state where it can be examined. So the test or the prep kit, I'm going to show you which one they gave me, and I don't know if they're all the same, but I'll just share with you what I had. It's called Suprep Bowel Prep Kit, and it is made up of sodium sulfate, potassium sulfate, and magnesium sulfate. So if you've been hanging around here the last few weeks, you know that we've been talking about making sure that we have our magnesium levels at an efficient level for our bodies, and that our body knows how to take care of itself if we have consumed too much magnesium. It creates a laxative effect. Funny that magnesium is in the prep kit for what we do to prepare our body for a colonoscopy. So all those things, all those minerals are what my body's accustomed to having anyway. So it was no big deal for me to drink this drink as well. It tasted very salty, but it was super easy for me to get down. I'm just one of those people, I just do what I gotta do. And I'll kind of show you how the test kit is set up. So you get this little plastic cup like this, and then 2 bottles of the sodium, potassium, and magnesium compound, I guess. You pour that into here, and then you fill it up to the 16-ounce line right there. And then I just mucked it back. They give you an hour to drink it, but quite frankly, that would be torturous. I just mucked it back. And then you're supposed to follow that solution with 2 more 16-ounce glasses of water, probably to offset the sodium that you're taking in. So did that, usually did that within about 10 or 15 minutes. Again, I didn't want to prolong my agony with any of that. And then you sit and you wait. I clocked it so that I could share with you guys so you can prepare if you have to get yourself ready for a colonoscopy. It took about 45 minutes for that solution to settle into my gut and start to do what it does. I think because of the lifestyle that I live around nutrition, and because I went on a no solids fast and just consumed water for a couple days before I started that, the actual process after this first dose was very simple for me. It wasn't anything that I felt out of control. It wasn't anything that made me feel nauseous or anything that seemed even abnormal, even though, and I'm gonna explain to you what happens when you start getting into the dose a little bit more, but it just felt like the normal thing, like maybe you just ate something that didn't agree with you kind of elimination process. And then as the evening went on into a couple hours, and I think after the solids are kind of removed from your system and your colon, then it starts to get to that point where it's unbelievable what actually happens in your digestive system, and everything literally just starts to, I visualized it as the walls of your digestive tract and the walls of your colon are just being shed of anything that's hanging on that is not supposed to be there. And it literally is a clean sweep of your system. So you want to make sure that you're home and you're settled and you're definitely at a place where you can get to the restroom if you need to. It wasn't anything that felt out of control, and it wasn't anything that I felt like was super extreme, because I understood the process that was going on, and I always visualize what's going on in my body. So that went on till about probably 9 or 10 o'clock last night. So about a 4-hour process of that. And then I was fine. I kept consuming my water as I always do, went to bed, that was fine. And then the second dose of the same exact procedure, so this in that cup, putting water in it till it reached about 16 ounces. I mucked that back. 2 more glasses. I actually did 32 ounces of water this morning because I knew I had a cutoff and I couldn't drink anymore. So I just drank 32 ounces of water after that. You have to do that again within an hour. And then at 6 o'clock, I was cut off from consuming anything by mouth. So no liquids, no gum, no nothing, as you're preparing for being, put under with some anesthesia. That again was a super simple process because I was really cleansed out last night. And the goal, not to be too graphic, but the goal with this whole process here is to get your elimination to a point where it's clear. And when your elimination from these preps gets to the point where everything that's coming out of you is clear, then you know you have a clean system and that your colon has been rid of all the debris that's kind of hanging around. And that's really the optimal position you want to be in for a colonoscopy. And that's exactly where I was able to get my body. So super excited about that, knowing that I was able to really get everything out that needed to be out. The procedure itself was super simple, very comfortable. The place that I went was the same place that Michael had gone for his, so he kind of prepped me on how that worked. But super simple procedure as well. You go in, you are completely dehydrated by the time you get there. I'm that type of person that has really good veins. Anybody who has to stick me for a blood draw or an IV or anything like that is always super excited to get me as a patient because I have really plump veins, but they were non-existent today, which is a sign that I was dehydrated, which is exactly where you're going to be when you get there. So I put an IV drip of some saline solution so that I could get back to being hydrated. And I immediately started to kind of feel a little bit of energy come back with that. And then they wheel you into a room where they prep you for your anesthesia. I was lucky enough to get a little dose of propofol, so I had an amazing nap this morning. Woke up completely rested after my procedure, and everything was a very, very pleasant experience. So for those of you who are hesitating to book a colonoscopy because you're scared or you don't know what the procedure is, I highly recommend getting it on your schedule and getting it done. Like I said, now in hindsight, and I just completed my colonoscopy, like I left the place at like 1:30 or something, so it wasn't even too long ago. And you can see I'm back to totally normal, feeling like myself. Everything in my body feels fine. And I feel totally rested and I'm completely hydrated. So I look at all the pluses and these type of things, like where can I find a win in this? One, I got great IV, some sodium, so I'm totally hydrated. And two, or some saline. And two, I got an amazing induced nap on a Wednesday in the middle of the day. Like, who gets a nap on a Wednesday in the middle of the day? So I took that as a win as well. My doctor goes over what was found initially in the colonoscopy. He was super excited. He thought, because of all of my health conditions, that I was going to come back as an atypical colonoscopy type of person, meaning he would find no polyps. Sadly, that wasn't the case, which is another reason why you need to make sure that you are getting this on your schedule and getting yourself checked out. The fact that you're healthy on the outside and you're living a healthy lifestyle doesn't mean that you can be polyp free or free of the risk of colonoscopies, free of the risk of colon cancer. It is one of those things that lifestyle that you choose and the way you're living your life definitely helps, but you never know what's going on the inside. So he came back letting me know I had 6 polyps, which I was kind of surprised about, and 2 of those were ones that he considered large and ones that he wants to definitely take a deeper look at. So they were 12 millimeters in size and the other ones were small, not a big deal. So those are off to pathology to get further tested, and I'll keep you guys posted on that. I don't have any worries about anything, but again, it just reinforced to me the importance of making sure that we get preventative tests like this done. Don't be afraid of something because of the unknown. What I just described to you was a situation where I really did take control of the prep. I took control of the procedure and I took control of the post-operative type of situation by practicing what I know is best for me and the lifestyle that I live. So if you're in this community and you're practicing intermittent fasting, I can tell you that the fasting confidence and maturity that you have can totally help you ease your way through a procedure like a colonoscopy. The 2 or 3 days before my prep, I considered a total gift for me. It was a good psychological way for me to do an extended fast. I'm not a fan of extended fasting. I like food and I don't ever want to be at that point of being that deprived of something, but I used it as a tool all the knowledge that I have about extended fasting and all the experiences I have as an intermittent faster, I really did roll that into a tool that I could use to really help me in this situation with my colonoscopy. And it also gave me an experience and a little bit of mental and emotional strength to reinforce what an extended fast can do, especially in a controlled environment. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about that in the coming year. Some new research that's being done on extended fasting and how even a person at home can do it in a very safe way. So I use that as a gift to myself and a tool for some deeper healing, what I like to do for my body on an everyday basis. And like I said, the prep wasn't that bad. I think if you know you're going to be scheduled for a colonoscopy, the best thing you can do is start weaning yourself off of food up into the onset of your appointment. And they did suggest that in some of my pre-op work as well, like 7 days out, doing some things to kind of eliminate some foods. I think the biggest fear people have in doing something like a colonoscopy is the prep and the fasting part of it. And the fasting part of it should not be anything that's going to keep you away from doing a procedure that could ultimately save your life down the road, as well as the prep work. It is one of those things that can really give us some good information about what's going on inside of our body and how we can take measures to prevent deeper things from happening. So I hope this offers someone some comfort and some confidence about scheduling for something like a colonoscopy that I think, a lot of times colonoscopies are those things that no one wants to talk about, and it's sort of socially like awkward. And I really believe that anything that we can do to share experiences and share knowledge should be something that we pay forward to others to really get rid of the stigmas, get rid of the fear, get rid of the anxiety, so we can confidently go into these types of procedures and do what we need to do to take care of ourselves so that we can live a long and healthy life. So hopefully that I provided that for someone today by sharing my own personal experience. So post-op, because of the level of biopsies that had to be removed, I cannot work out until Friday, which is not optimal for me being in the middle of my half marathon training, but that's okay. I'm going to do what the doctor said, take a couple days off of working out and kind of just rest up. And then of course post-op, because you are under anesthesia, no alcohol, I can't drive today, a couple of those kind of things. So you want to make sure you prepare for that. Take a day off. I'm milking the fact that I have to rest, so I will not be preparing dinner. I will not be washing dishes. I will not be doing anything but laying my self on the couch and totally taking advantage of
me.
Mike is kind of giving me the dog eye. What?
Taking advantage of me.
I'm taking advantage of Michael and Gabby today, and I'm going to rest as per doctor's orders. So ladies, schedule your colonoscopy and have a couple days where you can rest and relax. Okay, so let me see who's here today. If you've had a colonoscopy and you've had a different experience or maybe a similar experience, or if you have to go back and have another colonoscopy, and what I shared with you today is information that you're going to take with you to your experience, please share that with me in the comments below. And as always, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask them. I'm here to answer them for you guys today. So let me see who jumped on with us. Teresa is here. Welcome. Hey, Amy. Katarina's here. Annette, Diane, Lorraine, Cindy. Listen, you're listening from a tractor. Well, girlfriend, that is awesome. I don't think I've ever had that said before. Deborah, hello. Amy, I feel hope for the future for a colonoscopy. I'm happy you had a great long fast. My body's becoming more accustomed to doing 40+ hour fasts weekly. I love it and I feel so good. Yeah, Amy, it is good for sure. For sure. I think what I'm going to do when I finish my half marathon in December is schedule like a 3-day fast after that just to heal my body. I'm having a really hard time with my training this time around. And I have really I've decided this is going to be my last half marathon. I'm going to continue running, but half marathons just take too much of a toll on my body. So I'm going out with a bang on this one in December. And I'm totally okay with that. But the training part of it has been really hard on my body. And so I don't ever like to feel like I dread running or I don't like to train. And that's how I've been feeling this whole time. So I think I'm going to finish this one in December and then do a nice 3-day kind of water fast to recover. And then I'm just going to become a runner of moderate mileage for sure. Annette, why did you need a colonoscopy? In Australia, they don't do them unless they're indicated. Oh, in California. In the United States, it's usually 50, I think, is the suggested time frame to do a colonoscopy.
Now to 40, I think.
Yeah, and I think now they've even dropped down to 40, and I'm 52, so I was 2 years behind actually, just because life got busy, and I couldn't get one scheduled. So yeah, here in the States, it's 50, and Michael just said he thinks it dropped down to 40 now. Probably because the crappy food we have in our society that leads to higher instances of colon cancer. I've eaten healthy my whole life, so I was actually kind of surprised that I had so many polyps. But then I thought back and I was like, oh, I spent so many years in my life with constipation issues because of hormonal problems that I was having and just food choices that I was making, not understanding what dairy was doing to my system. So I think that might have led to what I had going on up to this point. So all those things matter, and we really need to start paying attention to those. Laura Ann, hello. Mine was awful, but it was pre-IF. I don't expect near the same experience the next time. Yeah, let me tell you, ladies, fasting is the key. And really like weaning yourself toward that time frame. So if you can calendar out about, I would say like 10 days out, start really cutting back on some a lot of those carbs. I would say go as carbless as possible leading up to it. That's the key, so you don't have those hunger hormone pains and those hypoglycemic type of effects. And then schedule yourself in a nice 2 to 3 day fast, I would say. And then by the time you get to that prep kit, oh my gosh, it is a breeze, because you just have so much less to eliminate, right, in your system. And that's really what I experienced, and I loved it. Let's see, TLM. Thanks, really need to have one also. Yeah, girlfriend, get it on your calendar. Don't put it off. Colleen, had one 2 days ago. Glad I did, because they removed 3 polyps. One was very large but looked okay to the doctor. He said if I waited a couple of years, it would have been cancer. Ooh, good for you, Colleen. Yeah, you got to just get it taken care of. TLM, OMG, more sugar. I don't know what that means. Okay, let's see. Susan, so far as the clear liquids, I came in late. Sorry, you just had water. Yeah, so what I did for my pre-prep fast is I stopped eating early on Sunday nights. That started my fast. Monday morning, I made the mistake of having black coffee, which over-energized me because I was really in the energized sense of calm all day Monday and Tuesday. Had trouble sleeping Monday night. Not like tossing, turning, miserable night sleep, but just like, wow, why am I even laying here? I feel like I have so much energy. I feel fantastic. Got up Tuesday morning, felt great. So it wasn't like I was missing out on sleep or felt like dragging the next day. My body was doing what it does when it's in a really good fasted state, and it was feeding off itself and energizing. Tuesday went completely water. And then this morning I was water up until the point you had to be up until this point until you drank your solution and went in for your work. So I think that really helped a lot, especially keeping my blood sugars level regulated. And I was in the depths of a clean fasted state, which I absolutely love. Colleen, I had the same problem getting stuck, and I have plump veins. Yeah. They say it's because we are dehydrated, and I heard them talking to other people. Everyone had the same problem, so I had to hang my arm down to get some blood flow in there to kind of pump up my veins. Robin, I get sick drinking the liquid right before I throw it up. Ooh, the prep liquid. Yeah, I just like guzzled it as fast as I could. I kind of tasted it toward the end, and it was super salty, almost like ocean water times 10. But I just got it in and then chased it with some water. Carrie, I've never been able to watch live. How fun. Oh, Carrie, what a great day to jump on. We're talking about colonoscopies. So glad to have you with us. MD, glad you got your colonoscopy. I do it every 5 years due to family history. Colon cancer is so preventable when scanned. The prep is the worst part, but I've got to do it. Yeah, for sure. So my doctor suggested I come back in 3 years. So you bet I'm going to go back in 3 years to the date, especially because of the fact that I did have polyps and I was sort of expecting I wasn't going to have any. So I will be back in 3 years for sure. A Jeannie Bean, thank you for your channel. You and Dr. Berg have helped me lose 20 pounds. Awesome. So glad to hear that. Colleen, have to go back in 3 years. Yeah, me too, for sure. Michael had the same thing. Michael, I think, had 3 polyps, and his recommendation is to go back in 3 years too. Danny, great information. Glad it's helpful for you. Martha, I had one already and it was a good experience. Awesome. Paige, I've had one 5 years ago and it's pretty easy experience overall. Thank you for reminding me I'm overdue for mine. Yeah, Paige, go get your schedule today. Colleen, in the US, age is still 50 unless you're high risk. Okay, cool. Let's see. MD, I only had 1 or 2 polyps once, had it twice since and never got them again. They even backed me up a few years for next one, so you may be the same, never have them again. That would be the goal for sure. Danny, do you have any symptoms? No symptoms. I don't even know what colon symptoms would be. I have so many food issues as of late, and it was funny because last week I actually went to go see the same doctor for some digestive issues that I've been having and some problems I've been having with my running. And so he recommended I get my colonoscopy out of the way. And I'm also doing a celiac test on me, as well as an intolerance for lactose, sucrose, and something fructose, I think it is. And so I have to wait 2 weeks to take that test because it's a breath test for the fructose. And so you have to have your bowels back in your gut back in normal functioning for yourself, and then I think you ingest some lactose powder, and then you breathe into a tube and you send it off to a lab, and then they let you know if you have those intolerances as well. So that'll be great to get that information back. And then I also had, like I said, a celiac test, so we'll see what's going on with that one as well. Let's see here. Where did I leave off here? I think I got it all. Okay, cool. So, like I said, my goal for sharing this type of information is to give you confidence and to help you understand what the process of something like a colonoscopy is, so that you're not afraid to schedule your appointment. Remember, things like mammograms, pap smears, colonoscopies, getting your blood work done regularly are all those preventative things that we have available to us to catch something before it gets out of control. Catch it in the early stages. And we want to make sure that fear or being intimidated or not knowing what goes on in these procedures are not the things that keep us from scheduling that appointment that could ultimately save our lives. I feel very fortunate that those polyps were found. I'm confident that the pathology reports will come back okay. And if not, we'll handle that as well. Not a problem there either. I figured if anything ever comes back to me from any of these procedures that I do that say that there's some sort of instance of cancer, I'm going to pack a bag and I'm going to check myself into an extended fasting clinic and do what I got to do and do what I know it works. So I'm never afraid of any of those things. I always want to be in the know. I always want to be in control of my health. And I hope and pray that you guys are doing the same as well. If this conversation did give you some courage and some information to help you go book your appointment, I really hope that's what happened today. That is my mission, always keep you guys informed and give you the confidence that you need to do so that you can live your best life. If you have any questions that maybe you didn't want to ask online, always feel free to email me. I don't have any problem answering those there. I always just ask that you keep them brief so that I can get back to you as soon as possible. And continue sharing your comments. If you had a colonoscopy and you had a great experience, share that below. If you had a colonoscopy and maybe your experience wasn't so great and you learned some things through that, share that below as well. We are only as informed and as strong as our community is willing to really gather around and help one another, and we do that through sharing our own personal experiences and sharing information. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Wednesday. I'm gonna go kick it on the couch and not do anything today because that's the instructions from my doctor. I will rest up and I will see you guys Friday on our IF Keto Family Life page on Facebook, where Michael and I will be discussing a new topic about living the intermittent fasting and keto-like lifestyle. Thanks for joining in today. Thanks for leaving your comments, and I appreciate you guys.